Good day everyone. In this video, we're going to discuss about the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals are here to transform our world. And now, let's discuss them. We have here goal number 1, no poverty. Goal number 2, zero hunger. Goal number 3, good health and well-being. Goal number 4, quality education. Goal number 5, gender equality. Goal number 6, clean water and sanitation. Goal number 7, affordable and clean energy. We have here goal number 8, decent work and economic growth. Goal number 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure. We have here goal number 10, reduced inequality. Goal number 11, sustainable cities and communities. Goal number 12, responsible consumption and production. We have goal number 13, climate action. Goal number 14, life below water. Goal number 15, life on land. Goal number 16, peace and justice, strong institution. And lastly, partnerships to achieve the goal. Among the 17 Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs of the United Nations, I have choose 5 SDGs that is more likely applicable in our country, the Philippines. I have here choose goal number 1, no poverty. Goal number 2, zero hunger. Goal number 3, good health and well-being. Goal number 4, quality education. And goal number 13, climate action. Among the 5, I'm going to discuss the goal number 4, quality education. It is obvious, however, that the SDGs are highly interdependent and cannot be addressed in isolation. As we shall discuss in greater detail in this series of articles, quality education for all, for example, is unattainable if a large number of children are undernourished or malnourished in the first years of their lives. Lack of sufficient nutrients in early childhood does significant damage to the brain, making learning difficult in later years. The same thing can be said about unhealthy children, SDG number 3. For that matter, at least the next 3 other SDGs are also closely intertwined with quality education. These are 5, gender equality, number 6, clean water and sanitation, and number 7, affordable and clean energy. Before we examine the ongoing education crisis in the Philippines is facing exacerbated by the pandemic, during which some 2.7 million students were forced to drop out of school for economic reasons. Let us fully understand the role of quality education in the attainment of integral human development, which is the goal of every society. Let us avoid the mistake of thinking of education as just a means of providing workers for the economy, especially a free market economy. It is heartening to know that the United Nations considers education as a human right of every individual, independently of his or her economic utility to society. Every human being has a right to education because of his or her inherent dignity. In introducing the 4th SDG, the mission vision statement reads as follows: ensure inclusive and equitable quality education and promote lifelong learning opportunities for all. Education liberates the intellect, unlocks the imagination, and is fundamental for self-respect. It is the key to prosperity and opens a world of opportunities, making it possible for each of us to contribute to a progressive, healthy society. Learning benefits every human being and should be available to all. As a strong advocate of liberal education, I am especially glad to read such phrases as lifelong learning opportunities, and education liberates the intellect. A very practical consequence of these statements is that it is the responsibility of the state to provide free education to all at the K-12 level, which is what the Philippine Constitution mandates. This free basic education for all is geared towards making every Filipino citizen capable of living a fully human life. Whatever special skills he or she may decide to acquire through additional formal, informal, or non-formal education to earn a living. 20% level. In fact, some of 2.7 million students have dropped out of school because of the lack of employment and income of their parents. More than ever, our government has to devote funds for the Social Amelioration Program or SAP or the 4Ps to make sure that as many of the children possible are able to continue with schooling, no matter how imperfect under the blended learning system. This will be possible only if the parents are given cash assistance to provide for the most basic necessities, especially food. As a condition for the cash transfer, the parents will ensure that their children will continue to attend classes in whatever form possible. These are the skills that are going to be in greatest demand as we transition from a low middle income to an upper middle income economy, which has to provide more job opportunities for the marginalized sectors of society. Because of the greater role of education in combating mass poverty and attaining in a more equitable distribution of income. As 2023 marks the halfway point in implementing Sustainable Development Goals, data showed that the Philippines remained midway through achieving 17 of such objectives. United Nations member states, including the Philippines, adopted the SDGs as a universal goal to end poverty, protect the planet, and ensure that by 2030, everyone would live in peace and prosperity. At least 193 countries have committed to prioritizing the progress of 17 SDGs, consisting of 169 targets and 232 unique indicators that cover economic, social, and environmental dimensions of development, which are expected to be used to frame country agendas and policies until 2030, according to Manila Bulletin. Halfway through the implementation of the SDGs, data showed that the Philippines still has a long way to go before it fully accomplishes the comprehensive set of goals and leave no one behind. The central promise of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and its SDGs. At a glance, global rankings from the latest Sustainable Development Report showed that the Philippines ranked 95th out of 163 countries with an overall score of 66.64 out of 100. According to the UN Sustainable Development Solutions Network, the country's overall score measures its total progress toward achieving all 17 SDGs. A score of 100 indicates that all SDGs have been achieved. The Philippines' current overall score was higher than those recorded in 2021, 66.52, and 2020, 66.09. While it was a few points lower than the pre-COVID pandemic score of 66.66. Last year, during the high-level political forum for sustainable development, Foreign Affairs Secretary Enrique Manalo noted that the Philippines' progress in achieving the SDGs was adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Manalo, who presented the country's third voluntary national review on implementation of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, reported at the UN headquarters in New York that while progress on most of the goals was sustained, some were reversed. Reversal effects were experienced in Goal 4, Quality Education, with an increase of about 2 percentage points on the average dropout rate among elementary and high school students. For SDG 4, Quality Education, data show that although the Philippines was already on track of or maintaining SDG achievement, challenges remain, especially in the following indicators. We have here participation rate in preliminary organized learning, NEET primary enrollment rate, and lower secondary completion rate. Despite being a middle-income country with sufficient resources to support children's education, many Filipino children miss out on opportunities to learn. The number of children accessing education, the quality of education they receive, and the condition of their learning environment are causes for concern. Only half of children 3 to 4 years old are enrolled in daycare, and only 70% complete basic education. Many schools do not have toilets and clean water. The number of children out of school has reached 2.8 million. Imagine those 2.8 million children. Because of low investment over the past decade, outdated teaching methods, and limited attention to the development of children's social and emotional skills, Filipino children lag behind. This situation is worse for vulnerable children, including indigenous children and children living with disabilities. Now we have here the solution. To fulfill a child's right to quality and inclusive lifelong learning, we have worked with the Philippine governments and partners to ensure that children are ready for school and schools are ready for children. Our aim is to increase access to formal and non-formal learning opportunities for children and adolescents by strengthening the government's capacity to improve the quality and relevance of teaching and the learning environment. Let us envision schools to be a place of convergence of services and programs for children, including the nutrition, disaster risk reduction, water and sanitation and hygiene. It is essential that every Filipino child, whatever their circumstance, has access to learning that offers a quality, inclusive, and relevant curriculum.